let's say who's another one? Who's another very evil figure in crab history that we've got? We got Adolf. I actually can't say that. That would sound so wrong.
Adolf Crabster.
Adolf.
Yeah, Adolf Crabster.
Adolf Lobster.
Adolf Lobster.
Oh,
Crabster.
Adolf Lobster.
Crabster.
Oh, shit.
Know your
Lobster,
history. Oh shit.
I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention in history class all that much.
Explains a lot.
I mean, I did to some extent, but
you only heard the part when they started burning the crabs.
I mean, I majored in crab science. To be fair, I did major in crab science. That was pretty cool.
Ain't that right? And crab history. When
Crab
they started
science.
boiling the crabs in the big old
crab
pot.
science. There was crab gymnastics. Don't ask me how that works. It's complicated. But it basically
it's very complicated to explain, but to do is very easy.
Oh yeah. I would try to explain the basics of crab gymnastics, but it's like I said, it's complicated.
Like how you humans, it's like how you humans try to appeal to us or try to tell us the concept of conception between you two.
Pretty much, yeah.
Very complicated, but very easy to understand once you do it.
It wasn't until I went to crab college, however. It wasn't until I went to crab college, however, is when I first got into playing crab rugby, which was very slow-paced, yes, but slow-paced for some crabs because. Oh yeah.
How do you throw or kick or? I don't know.
Well, see, here's the thing. To be in crab rugby or any crab sports like crab basketball or whatever, you have to really be on top of not skipping crab leg day. Like,
definitely.
You may not be able to see it from this. You may not be able to see it.
You gotta do your claw curls.
My legs, my crab legs.
Crab claw.
Yeah, my claws. They're fairly sized. They're not as big as most famous crab athletes. Yeah.
Now look.
I mean, you all look neat, so.
It doesn't matter the size of the claw. It matters how you pinch it.
Yeah,
well, and sometimes it depends on the size of the claw, because keep in mind, in crab society, I had discussed one of the crab struggles, and that is getting crab women. And what crab women like in society is
big claws.
A crab man with bigger claws. With big claws. Yep.
Big claws.
And what do you look for in a female crab?
What do I look for in a female crab?
Yeah.
Well, what I like about some female crabs is the way they crawl. The way they crawl is just sometimes real sexy to me. Like if I'm walking down the street and I see a pretty looking crab who has a nice strut to however many legs she might have, I go, damn, that's a fine looking crab.
Everybody be kind of all the crab men would be like,
crab men would be simping. They'd be simping hard.
You know, my favorite part of a crab woman is them fertilized eggs.
The soft shell, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what all crab men like about their crab women: them fertilized eggs and the fact that they get to have like 30 children at the end of the 9-month pregnancy.
Egg count, bro. Oh god, that high fertilized egg count.
Yeah, I know. This is why I just want like a nice crab woman to settle down with have children, because. Once you have in crab society, you may or may not know this, but once in crab society, when you have crab children, you have like up to at least maybe 25 or 30 of them, 50 if you're the most unlucky, and that really just, your child support payments really go through the roof. It's painful.
That's why crabicide. That's why crabicide in male crabs is so high. They just can't take it with all that.
Yeah, crabicide is really high in male crabs, unfortunately, because oftentimes. Sometimes some male crabs get a little too horny, and they have sex with their mate at least more than 5 times a week.
Yep.
That's bad.
And as a result, they have at least, 500 children to take care of, and then they realize the next thing you know, they're homeless because they can't afford to take 500 children.
They become shellless. The shelllessness rate of male crabs
They become shellless, exactly. And they have to sleep inside shipwrecks and not in crab houses like regular crabs.
They don't get a luxury
like a really good crab friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he recently got divorced by his bitch of a crab wife who took the kids and got possession of the house.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in a very bad spot in his life. He wound up sleeping in I don't remember which shipwreck he slept in. I believe it was the Titanic. And from what I can, the stories he's told me, there's some really serious crab crack addicts living in that thing. It's real shady.
Yeah, it's
That's
the
real
crab
bad.
ghetto down there.
Yeah, they like to get high off
The Titanic is
barnacle.
basically crab ghetto. There's a lot of high crime rate going on in that area. You know, crabs
There's a
deal
lot of
in
lobsters crawling
crab
around.
crack.
Yeah, fucking
crab
bunch shit ton of
heroin,
lobsters.
They
and
get
a
high
shit
off
ton of
barnacles.
lobsters, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the lobsters in that area. If you thought the lobsters that we fought in Vietnam were scary, just go to the Titanic and you'll see that you ain't no shit, because these crabs are jacked. You can they've at least been in prison 3 times in their life, and they have
Not to
some
mention,
serious
I mean,
things
like
to
the
show
crab
for it.
ghetto is even worse too. I mean, we got the crab crips and then the blood
The crab
lobsters, you
bloods and
know.
all that.
The blood lobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lobsters are the lobster bloods and the crab crips. The crab crips, I really feel sad for some of them, because they're indoctrinated at such a young age to where their parents make the mistake of having sex too many times. They're abandoned. They can't pay child support, and next thing you know, they're indoctrinated into gangs and forced to fight for a cause that they don't really understand.
Yeah.
But of
It's
course,
so
it's the
sad,
only
yes.
cause that they understand at such a young age, and it's really sad.
Lots of these young crabsters,
God.
they just they don't get any love and affection from
Yeah.
their parents, because when you have 500 children, you just can't attend them all. So the majority of you don't
Yeah,
even
exactly.
notice.
Exactly, it sucks. Like,
How?
Yeah, and they
I
go
know,
to those
it
older
sucks, but-
crabsters for
It's like it's a good
motivation,
thing that
to
I
look
grew
up
up
to.
in a family of 15.
Oh
yeah,
wow, you're
I grew
really
up in a
lucky.
nice, comfortable Yeah, you're real lucky.
Yeah.
When I was born, I was brought up in a crab family of at least, I'd say, 20. It was a little hectic. My parents did the best for me. They sent me to, they managed to scrape it together enough money, luckily at the time, to send me to public crab school, which I made a lot of friends. And that I'm grateful for, because my family growing up, they were poor. They just gotten out of the Great Crab Depression. The crab stock market crashed not too long ago before I was born, but eventually it recovered in time to where they could get stable jobs. They could send their all the children to school and whatnot.
20 children. Wow.
Yeah, all of my 20 brothers and sisters, which I lived amongst. That's good. There's a good sorry. Got something in my throat. Thankfully, majority of my brothers and sisters, I may or may not have known all their names, because again, there was 20 of us. It was a hectic household. But majority of them have really stable jobs, as far as I know. Like, one of my crab brothers just recently went on to become a civil engineer, a very prominent civil engineer in crab society, and I'm really proud of him, because that's a first for my family.
Oh yeah.
Like, my family for generations before me and my parents, us crabs, we didn't have it all that easy, and like a lot of my past relatives got into like gang crime and shit. They got into like the crab crips. A lot of them were
Like
killed in that
Titanic?
line of. Oh yeah, they wound up in the Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
They
generally
wound-
the
Yep.
biggest
Some of them wound.
shellless center for all the crabs and lobsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, being a civil engineer in my crab family is it's quite the achievement, because for the successful crabs that or for my successful family members, a lot of them kind of went into real estate, which was kind of gay. I don't really understand that.
Like selling shells, really?
Oh yeah, they sold shells. Like,
By
come
the
on.
seashore?
Thankful. Yeah, they sold shells by the seashore, to be
Yeah.
exact. Except, yeah, that's where all like the fucking rich crabs live.
Yeah,
like that's where
that's the
Mr.
high
Krabs,
mark.
the Jeff Bezos of the
Oh
sea,
my
lives.
gosh, Mr. Krabs. I hate Mr. Krabs. Especially how he's
Yeah, I
trying
know,
to
right?
get
Spent
everyone's
$30 million
personal
just to
information.
fucking. Oh no. Mr. Krabs, pardon me if you didn't catch that before, is the Jeff Bezos of the sea. If
Oh,
you're
okay.
thinking of
Krusty
if you're
Krab.
thinking of the Mark Zuckerberg of the sea,
That's
if you're thinking of
Krusty
Mark
Krab.
Zuckerberg of the sea, that's
Krusty Krab.
uh
Right? Krusty Krab?
no, the Krusty Krab is owned by Mr. Krabs, of course. Yes,
Oh.
and there's at least one on every street corner in Crab Society. You can't go at least 15 feet driving from your shell to and not see a crusty crab.
I had a crab
Crab
Vietnam
patty?
flashback real quick.
Oh.
Oh, you good?
Are you
You good?
okay?
Yeah.
Just recalling the horrors.
Do you still remember?
Yeah.
God.
Is it,
Take a
is
drink.
it-
Do you remember
Yeah.
that time?
do you still
Yeah.
remember Johnny?
It was a really dark time in crab history.
Do you still remember Johnny? Is that
We
is that what's
massacred
getting
so
you?
many innocent Alaskan crabs.
That's so horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
And all for the sake because it was just lobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all
That's why we
just
hate
because of the
They played
lobsters
us
and the
for
fact that we
fools.
thought they were trying to take away our way of life.
Mhm.
Man, I really wish we didn't. I really wish we didn't bomb all of those innocent crab villages.
For real.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
long-legged
my,
crabs didn't deserve it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I have a story to tell. A long time ago, in an ocean far, far away, I had a relative, a great uncle, who used to be part of the Great Crab Army, who fought in Crab Vietnam, somewhere, and he used to have very bad PTSD, and for one reason, he was part of this squad who went into this village, right? I don't remember what their mission was exactly, but all he could recall was he was definitely going to be killing some crabs. He didn't know if they were good or bad or innocent or anything. He just was told, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go in there, we're going to clear out the hostiles, and we're going to get the hell out of there. And the second he went into that village, all hell broke loose. I remember. There were some young Alaskan crabs hiding in the seaweed. They couldn't have been more than at least, I don't know, 8 years old. And that's the story he tells me. And one of them just sat there, looking my great uncle in the eyes, telling him, "I don't want to have to shoot you. Please, I have my whole life ahead of me. I don't know why I'm fighting in this senseless war." And it was at that moment one of his buddies looked at him and looked at what he was seeing, and immediately shot that crab child in the face. He cried that night. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep for like 3 nights, and it stuck with him ever since. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Even. I'm sorry. It's very traumatizing, I know. There was even a time where
they never tell you these stuff. But
yeah, there was some tough
it's a lot of
times for him
stuff.
as well. That wasn't just the only one.
Let me get a
Sometimes when he was asleep in his cot, in his tent, just off the coast of where all the fighting was happening, sometimes he could hear crab jets buzzing through the air, followed by the screams and explosions of all the innocent Alaskan crab children and women and children. And he thought to himself as he fell asleep, "Why are we still here? Just to suffer?"
No.
I just want to go out of character for a minute. I am as much fun as I'm having telling all this shit. I'm not good at storytelling, but this is
Yeah.
still fun for me.
Yeah.
Bro, this is
it's
some
a
improv shit, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, this
It's
is
just
some improv type shit. I
improvise.
love improv type shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, improv is probably one of my favorite things to do. But no matter how cohesive of a story I try to tell, especially when it comes to Crab Society, it's not easy. Although I do like the idea of the Titanic just being one big ass ghetto.
Dude, it's smart-ass people,
Yeah,
bro, that shit.
every corner you turn in that ship, it's just, you really got to be watching your back, because the crime
lock
rate
your
up
car.
there, it's really high. Like, you have a 75 or 80% chance of getting mugged in that ship, or even the lower chance of getting shanked in your crab ass is a little lower than it was way back in, like, I think 2015, because the crab police have really recently been patrolling that area, cracking down on all the drug smugglers and all that, because crack cocaine is a really, really huge problem in our society, especially my neighborhood. Hold on a second.
Hey, Mona.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You
Oh
you
yeah,
want some crab
seaweed. Actually,
cocaine?
now that you bring up seaweed,
No.
I should mention that Crab
sure,
Congress
man?
recently passed a law
got
that
some
makes
for you, man.
seaweed legal for recreational use.
Oh.
I
Oh
got all
yeah,
the seaweed.
Like years ago,
I got all the
seaweed
crab
was
cocaine,
very frowned
the
upon
fucking lobster
amongst
MDMA.
some conservative crabs in society, and yeah, they weren't really well liked, but somehow they had a lot of power in Crab Congress, and but recently, not too long ago, thanks to our newly indoctrinated crab president, Claw Biden, he passed a law that basically allows free seaweed for all crab kind. We don't have to pay a dime for it. We just need to go to our you just need to go to a local dispensary, a local seaweed dispensary, ask for what kind of whatever crab kush they have in stock, and you're good to go.
You know, the funny
Have
part
you
is
tried
though,
it?
Oh yeah, I have tried it actually.
Who
I tried the
hasn't tried
watermelon
seaweed?
flavored seaweed not too long ago, and it was something, I tell you. I think I was tripping for at least 4 days until I eventually woke up a really weird part of town. Wouldn't recommend that.